Hi, this is Ajay Anand and welcome to science classes from excelup.com. In this video, you will be learning about sources of energy. You will learn about conventional sources of energy and non-conventional sources of energy. You will also learn about the difference between renewable source of energy and non-renewable source of energy. So, what is a good source of energy? A good source of energy should fulfill following criteria. Number one is it should do a large amount of work per unit mass or volume. It should be easily accessible, it should be easy to transport, and it should be economical. So, to understand this, you can compare three commonly used sources of energy. For example, firewood, coal, and LPG, because all of them, they can be used as fuels in kitchen. So firewood, it is easily accessible, but one has to trek many kilometers to bring firewood from jungles. Then it is not able to produce a large amount of energy per unit mass or volume. Same holds true for coal also. As far as ease of transportation is concerned, it is very easy to transport so many cylinders full of LPG rather than the same amount of coal or firewood. And LPG is economical also, because the per month cost, if it is calculated, then LPG stands more economical compared to coal or even firewood. And that is the reason LPG is the most popular kitchen fuel in Indian households. Now, based on the duration since when fuels are being used, we can categorize them as conventional sources of energy and non-conventional sources of energy. The energy sources which have been in use since say 100 years, since a long time, they are called conventional sources of energy. So coal, petroleum, then hydel energy, and even wind energy, that is conventional source of energy. The energy sources which have come into use in recent times, they are called non-conventional sources of energy. So for example, solar energy, nuclear energy, they are non-conventional sources of energy. Coal was formed millions of years ago. It was formed from plants which were buried in swamp, and those plant remains, they underwent carbonization because of intense heat and pressure, and they got converted into coal. Coal is the highest used energy source in India. It is mainly used in factories and thermal plants. Around 30 years ago, it was one of the major sources of energy in kitchens as well. Petroleum was formed millions of years ago from animals which were buried under ocean surface. Right now, petroleum is the third major source of energy in India. We can also categorize energy sources as non-renewable and renewable. An energy source which cannot be renewed or replenished in foreseeable future is called non-renewable sources. So coal and petroleum, they come under this category because we cannot replenish them in near future, and it takes millions of years for their formation. Hydel power, wind power, and solar energy, they come under renewable sources of energy. Let us understand about some of them in detail. So this is hydel energy or hydroelectricity. Hydel energy is the energy harnessed from kinetic energy of water, that is done by using the energy of water in rivers or streams. For this, a huge dam is built and a reservoir is built behind the dam. So water gets collected in the reservoir, and from time to time sluice gates are opened to release water, which moves through a great force. And the force of the kinetic energy of water, it turns the turbine which generates electricity. Then electricity is sent to homes, factories, and offices through transmission lines. Hydel energy is very good in the way, in the context that it is environment friendly. It doesn't produce polluting gases or greenhouse gases, but there are certain drawbacks. it is bad for ecosystem, because construction of a hydel project, it results in destruction of flora and fauna over a large scale. A large area is inundated because of the water in the catchment area of the hydel project, and after that what happens, the decomposition of plants and animals in the catchment area, it results in formation of methane, which is a greenhouse gas, which results in global warming. Another major problem with hydel project is that construction of a hydroelectric project results in large scale displacement of people from the villages and towns which fall under the catchment area. And that is why nowadays environmental activists, they protest whenever a new hydel energy project is coming up. Thermal power. Thermal power, it converts thermal energy into electric energy. So for this, a boiler is used in which water is boiled to make a steam. Steam is channelized to a turbine, so that turbine can be run to produce electricity. After that, steam is sent to a cooling tower so that the water can be cooled down, steam can be cooled down to make water once again, and this can be recycled, reused in the same thermal power plant. Coal is the most often used fuel in thermal power plants. Apart from that, natural gas and petroleum, they are also used in thermal power plants. But thermal power plants, they are highly polluting in nature because they produce carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Moreover, if the plant is based on coal, then it also releases a lot of ash, which causes respiratory problem and which increases the ppm levels in air. Now let us talk about gobar gas or gas from biomass. Biomass can be a very good source of energy, especially in rural areas. Most of the farmers, they rear cattle also. So the dung from those cattle and farm waste, it can be utilized, it can be decomposed to produce methane gas. For this, a gobar gas plant is made, which is in the form of a tank, and it is connected to a channel through which slurry can be fed. The slurry is made of water mixed with dung and other farm waste. The slurry is sent to digester, where ruminant bacteria, they carry out decomposition of the slurry, and the decomposition process results in formation of methane gas or biogas. Biogas mainly contains methane. This gas is sent out through gas outlet. It can be utilized for burning the kitchen stove and for producing light, and it can also be used even for producing electricity. The byproduct of this process is sent to another chamber, and this can be used as manure, which can be a very good fertilizer for farmers. So gobar gas is comparatively cheaper. It is pocket friendly also for the farmers. And it is somewhat environment friendly also because it is renewable source of energy. Wind energy. Wind energy had been in use since maybe 1000 years. So earlier, the windmills, they were used to run sawmills and flour mills. Nowadays, the windmills, they are being used to produce electricity. For this, a rotor is attached to a gearbox, which is attached to a generator. So the rotational movement of the windmill, it results in movement of the turbine, which produces electricity, and electricity is then supplied for various users. There are certain limitations also for the wind energy because it can be installed at selected places only, at those places where the wind speed is more than 15 kilometers per hour consistently for major portion of the day. Then the initial cost of setup of windmill is very high. Since a windmill is composed of so many moving parts, so cost of maintenance and cost of repair is pretty high in case of windmills. Now let us talk about the non-conventional sources of energy. Solar energy. Sun is having an endless reservoir of energy. As long as the solar system exists, there will be solar energy. So it is a renewable source of energy. It is non-polluting in nature. There are many methods to harness solar energy. The simplest method is to use solar cooker, which concentrates solar energy to increase heat inside a chamber, and that heat can be utilized to cook food. But since solar cooker is very slow in working, so it has not gained popularity across people. Another method is the use of solar panel. Solar panel consists of photovoltaic cells which convert solar energy into electrical energy, and that electrical energy is sent to a charge control, from where it is sent to a battery and inverter for storage, so that the electricity can be used later. Another method is using a concave mirror to concentrate solar energy to heat a fluid, water or any other fluid, to generate steam, so that the steam can be utilized to turn the turbine. So, for example, in this diagram, this is a concave mirror and this is a tube which is filled with a suitable fluid. So, the fluid, it gets heated and it changes into steam. This steam is then channelized so that it can turn a turbine and electricity can be generated. The limitations of solar energy are, it can be used only at places which get plenty of sunshine throughout the day and for most parts of the year. Right now, the cost of photovoltaic cells is very high. So cost of setting up solar power plants is very high, and that is why the per unit cost of power through solar energy is high, and it is yet to gain acceptance among people. Energy from sea. Sea can be a very good source of energy. Right now, all the methods of harnessing energy from ocean, they are at research stage, and there are some methods, for example, tidal energy or wave energy. So tides, they come and go. To harness tidal energy, one needs to build a barrage at the coast. Once the water comes during the high tide, it can be stored behind the dam in a reservoir, and later on it can be released by opening the sluice gates. So releasing this water will cause the motion of turbine and electricity can be generated. But the problem is, tides, they come only at certain times in a day. So at the most twice in a day or thrice in a day. So it cannot be harnessed throughout the day. Moreover, it can only be harnessed in coastal areas. The wave energy, waves are somewhat better because they keep on coming throughout the day. So a hollow chamber is set up, a hollow well is set up over the ocean surface, so that when the wave comes, it pushes the air inside this hollow tube, and the motion of this air, it turns the turbine and electricity is generated. Another method is called ocean thermal energy. It relies on the difference between temperature of the surface water and temperature of deep water. If this difference is more than 20 degrees Celsius, then ocean thermal energy can be harnessed. So there is an evaporator which is installed on the surface, and there is a condenser installed in the deep waters. A suitable fluid, usually ammonia, is sent to the evaporator, and because of the heat of the surface water, ammonia changes into gas. Now this gas is channelized to turn a turbine which generates electricity, and after that the gas is sent to condenser, where because of the lower temperature of deep sea water, the gaseous ammonia, it changes into liquid ammonia. Now this is once again channelized and the process continues, and that is how electricity is generated. This technology is still at research and development stage, and it holds great promises for the future. There are many other non-conventional sources of energy which are being used sporadically. For example, geothermal energy, that is the energy under the earth at certain places. This heat, it keeps on coming out through the crevices in the earth's surface. This can be harnessed to produce a steam and in turn to produce electricity. Nuclear energy is another good source of energy, where a radioactive material is utilized as fuel, and the advantage of nuclear energy is a very small amount of fuel can produce a very huge amount of energy. So nuclear power plants, they are being installed at many places around the world, but there is always a risk of leakage of radioactive material, and it has happened in the past also. For example, in case of the Chernobyl accident in Russia, and that is why environmental activists, they are very cautious and they always protest against setting up of nuclear power plants. To sum up, I talked about the criteria for a good source of energy. Then I talked about conventional sources of energy and non-conventional sources of energy. Talked about the difference between renewable source of energy and non-renewable sources of energy. Then I talked about the ocean thermal energy and other methods of harnessing energy from sea. So that's all. Thank you.